Hello students, welcome to the lecture series of conventional and non-conventional sources of energy. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the economics of power generation, cost of electrical energy, expression for cost of electrical energy and method of determining depreciation. Now our today's topic is tariff. So let us begin. So what is meant by tariff? We know that the electricity is generated at the power plant. Then the generated electricity can be transmitted by using transmission line to the distribution box, and from the distribution box it is distributed to the various consumer. The consumers such as residential consumer, commercial consumer, industrial consumer and tractions. So this consumer has to pay some cost for the energy consumption, and that cost will be decided on per unit energy. We know that per unit energy means per kilowatt hour. So for the per kilowatt hour, the charges are decided by the generation, transmission and distribution companies, and consumers has to pay that charges, and to calculate that charges is nothing but the tariff. So here the rate at which electrical energy is supplied to a consumer is known as tariff. Tariff should include the total cost of producing and supplying electrical energy plus the profit. Means in the tariff, producing cost and transmission cost will be included, and the profit of the companies, that is generating company, transmission company and distribution company also include. But it cannot be same for all types of consumer, because the cost of producing electrical energy depend upon magnitude of electrical energy consumed by the user and his load condition. Means as the cost is depend on the load condition, means whether it is a industrial load, whether it is a lighting load, whether it is a commercial load. So depends on the load condition, and also depends on magnitude of energy consumed. Means suppose consumer consumes more electrical energy, then he has to pay a less charge per unit energy consumption. So here, and for the load condition, if the load is of about constant load, then the charges are less, and if the load is variable load, then charges will be more. So that's why the tariff rate is not same for all types of consumers. Objectives of tariff: first, recovery of cost of producing electrical energy at the power station. Means why we require the tariff? To recover a cost of electrical energy produced at the power station, means generating at the power station. Second, to recover a cost of capital investment in transmission and distribution system. There is a huge capital will be invested in the generating station, in transmission and distribution substations. So to recover that cost, again the tariff must be needed. Then to recover a cost of operation and maintenance of supply of electrical energy, example metering equipment, billing. Means this electrical appliances, electrical machineries such as generator, motor, transformer, transmission lines, and some meters are required routine maintenance and operations. So to recover that cost, again we require the tariff, and also a suitable profit on the capital investment. So this is a MSCB is a company, is Maharashtra State for the Maharashtra. It is a company that Maharashtra State Electric Board, that can be divided into Mahagenco, Mahatransco, and Mahadiscom. Means Maharashtra Generation Company, Maharashtra Transmission Company, and Maharashtra Distribution Company. So that company must need a profit on the electrical energy supplied to the consumer. So a suitable profit on the capital investment to that company. Now, desirable characteristics of the tariff. First is proper return. The tariff should ensure the proper return from each consumer. In other words, the total receipts from the consumer must be equal to the cost of producing and supplying electrical energy plus reasonable profit. This will enable the electric supply company to ensure continuous and reliable service to the consumer. If the consumer has to pay a regular cost or regular charge for the electrical energy, then the company, that is generating and transmission company, will get the profit. And if they will get the profit, then the company has ensure the continuous and reliable service to the consumers. Then fairness, the tariff must be fair so that different types of consumers are satisfied with the rate of change of electrical energy. Thus, big consumers should be charged at a lower rate than a small consumer. It is because increased energy consumption spreads the fixed charges over a greater number of units, thus reducing the overall cost of producing electrical energy. Means the more the consumption of electrical energy, less will be the charges, because fixed charges will be distributed, okay, throughout the unit, or the fixed charges per unit will be less. Then simplicity, the tariff should be simple so that the ordinary consumer can easily understand it. We know the electricity bill in our home, we can easily understand it because they mention a fixed charges, they mention the per unit rate, they mention the number of unit consumed. Okay, so it must be a simple so that ordinary consumer can easily understand. A complicated tariff may cause an opposition from the public, which is generally distrustful of supply companies. The next is the reasonable profit. The profit element in the tariff should be reasonable. An electric supply company is a public utility company and generally enjoys the benefit of monopoly. Therefore, the investment is relatively safe due to non-competition in the market. This calls for the profit to be restricted to 8% or so per annum. So profit must be reasonable, so that which is favorable for a consumer as well as company. Then attractive. The tariff should be attractive so that large number of consumers are encouraged to use electrical energy. Effort should be made to fix the tariff in such a way so that consumers can pay easily. So these are the characteristics of the tariffs. Then types of tariff. First is simple tariff. When there is a fixed rate per unit of energy consumed, it is called a simple tariff or uniform rate tariff. Means, let us say one of the small consumer which consume 50 unit per month. So charges are constant. Okay, so let us say 8 rupees per unit are the charges. So with, and if there will be an big consumer which consume 500 unit per month, again the charges is same, that is 8 rupees per unit. So in this type of tariffs, the price charge per unit is constant. Means whether it is a big consumer or small consumer, per unit charges is constant. That is, it does not vary with increase or decrease in number of unit consumed. The consumption of electrical energy at a consumer's terminal is recorded by means of an energy meter. This is the simplest of all tariffs and is readily understood by the consumers. It is a simple type of tariff. Disadvantage: there is no discrimination between different types of consumer, since every consumer has to pay equitably for the fixed charges. Means, as we discussed, there must be a discrimination in between the big consumer and small consumer. Then the cost per unit delivered is high. In case of the simple tariff, the cost per unit is high. It does not encourage the use of electricity. That is the disadvantage of simple tariff. Then next is the flat rate tariff. So when different types of consumer are charged at different uniform per unit rates, it is called a flat rate tariffs. Means here depending on the consumers, the charges are changed. Means in this type of tariff, the consumers are grouped into different classes, and each class of consumer is charged at a different uniform rate. For instance, the flat rate per kilowatt hour for lighting load may be 60 paise, whereas it may be slightly less for power load. Means it is the different classes of consumer are made taking into account their diversity and load factor. The advantages of such a tariff is that it is more fair to different types of consumer and is quite simple in calculation. So here a group of consumer is made based on their load condition, means based on their load factors and also diversity factor. So if the loads are lighting load, so cost will be high because lighting load having very less power factor, so it is charge is 60 paise per unit. And whereas if the load is less, okay, then it is 55 paise per kilowatt hour for power load. Disadvantage of flat rate tariff: since the flat rate tariff varies according to the way the supply is used, separate meters are required for lighting load, power load, etc. This makes the application of such a tariff expensive and complicated. So here separate meters are required for lighting load, power load, as we separate the consumer according to their load. So this makes the application of such a tariff expensive and complicated. Again, a particular class of consumer is charged at the same rate irrespective of the magnitude of energy consumed. Again, the charge for the fan or lighting load is same whether it is a big consumer or small consumer. However, a big consumer should be a charge at a lower rate, as in case of the fixed charges per unit are reduced, because as there is a big consumer consumes more units. Okay, so as the unit will be more, fixed charges per unit will be less. Then next is the block rate tariff. When a given block of energy is charged at a specified rate and a succeeding block of energy are charged at a progressively reduced rate, it is called a block rate tariff. In this, the energy consumption is divided into blocks and the price per unit is fixed in each block. The price per unit in the first block is the highest, and it is progressively reduced for succeeding blocks of energy. For example, the first 30 unit may be charged at the rate of 60 paise per unit, and the next 25 unit at the rate of 55 paise per unit, and the remaining additional unit may be charged at the rate of 30 paise per minute. Means here a block of unit is made and it is divided into three blocks. So first block having a different rate, second block is having a different rate, and third block having a different rate. Means from this example, if the unit consumption is less than 30 units, then maybe the charge will be more, that is 60 paise per unit. If it is in between next 25, means 30 to 55 units, then charge is 55 paise per unit, and the remaining additional unit may be charged. Means if the consumption is more than 55 unit, then the charge per unit is 30 paise per unit. Advantage: the consumer gets an incentive to consume more electrical energy. This increases the load factor of the system, and hence the cost of generation is reduced. Disadvantage of this system: it lacks a measure of consumers' demand. This type of tariff is being used for majority of residential and small commercial consumers. Then next is the two-part tariff. When the rate of electrical energy is charged on the basis of maximum demand of the consumer and the unit consumed, it is called two-part tariff. So in the two-part tariff, the total charge to be made from the consumer is split into two components. Two part: One is fixed charges and second is running charges. Means we say two-part tariff is equal to fixed charges plus running charges. The fixed charges depend upon maximum demand of the consumer. Means maximum demand is the peak demand of the consumer, while the running charges depend upon number of unit consumed by the consumer. Means running charges depend per unit charges. Okay, means how much unit is consumed by the consumer, that will be into the charge per unit will be calculate the total charges of the running cost. Thus the consumer is charged at a certain amount per kilowatt of maximum demand plus a certain amount per kilowatt hour of energy consumed. So two total charges in the two part tariff will be given as total charges is equal to rupees B into kilowatt plus C into kilowatt hour, where B charge per kilowatt of maximum demand, C charge per kilowatt hour of energy consumed. B, what is B? B is nothing but the charge per kilowatt of maximum demand. So if we multiply here charge per kilowatt, then kilowatt getting cancelled, remaining is charge. Here C is nothing but a charge per kilowatt hour of energy consumed. So if we multiply here charge per kilowatt hour into kilowatt hour, so kilowatt hour is cancelled out, so remaining is again charge. So here we calculate the total charges. So this type of tariff is mostly applicable to industrial consumer who have appreciable maximum demand. Advantages: it is easily understood by the consumer, that is which is the fixed charges and which is the running charges. It recovers the fixed charges which depend upon the maximum demand of the consumer but are independent of unit consumed. Disadvantage: the consumer has to pay the fixed charges irrespective of the fact whether he has consumed or not consumed the electrical energy. Means disadvantage of this type of tariff is that consumer has to pay the fixed charges. Fixed charges is fixed whether your meter is on or off, whether your load is on or off. Fixed charges is constant for the particular month. There is always error in assessing the maximum demand of the consumer, so it cannot predict the maximum demand of the each individual consumer. Then next is the maximum demand tariff. It is similar to the two-part tariff with the only difference that the maximum demand is actually measured by installing maximum demand meter in the premises of the consumer. As there is a drawback in the two-part tariff that there is an error in assessing the maximum demand of the individual consumer, so that will be minimized, that will be overcome in the maximum demand tariff. That it is similar, but difference is that maximum demand is actually measured by installing maximum demand meter in the premises of the consumer. Means we have to install a separate meter in the premises of consumer. This removes the objection of two-part tariff where the maximum demand is assessed merely on the basis of rateable value. This type of tariff is mostly applied to big consumer. However, it is not suitable for small consumer as a separate maximum demand meter is required. It is only suitable for the industrial purpose, not suitable for the residential, because there is a separate maximum demand meter is required for each consumer. The next is the power factor tariff. The tariff in which power factor of the consumer's load is taken into consideration is known as power factor tariff. So we know that the power factor is an important component in case of the electrical system. The power factor must be required as high as possible, because less the power factor, more will be the inductive current, more will be the current, and more losses will be occurred. So in an AC system, the power factor plays an important role. A low power factor increases the rating of station equipment. So as I say, low power factor means less power factor, means more current, and more current means more the rating of equipment, means the size of the equipment is also more, and line losses. Therefore, consumers having a low power factor must be penalized. Types of power factor tariff. First is KVA maximum demand tariff. It is modified form of two-part tariff. In this case, the fixed charges are made on the basis of maximum demand in KVA and not in kilowatt. KVA maximum demand tariff. We know the relation that power factor power factor is equal to kilowatt upon KVA. Kilowatt upon KVA. And power factor is nothing but the cos phi. Power factor is nothing but the cos of phi, and phi is the angle between voltage and current. So KVA maximum demand tariff, what is it at? It is a modified form of two-part tariff. In this case, the fixed charges are made on the basis of maximum demand in KVA and not in kW, means not in kilowatt. As KVA is inversely proportional to power factor. Here, power factor is inversely proportional to kVA. Therefore, a consumer having low power factor has to contribute more towards the fixed charges. Means less power factor, so more will be the kVA. And more will be the kVA rating, then the size of the particular device is also big. This type of tariff has the advantage that it encourages the consumers to operate their appliances and machinery at improved power factor. Then next is the sliding scale tariff. This is also known as average power factor tariff. In this case, an average power factor, say 0.8 lagging, is taken as the reference. If the power factor of the consumer fall below here, 0.8 is a generally average power factor of the home or industry is 0.8, then that will be taken as a reference. If the power factor of the consumers falls below the 0.8, then suitable additional charges are made. On the other hand, if the power factor is above the reference, means if it is more than 0.8, then a discount is allowed to the consumer. So in this power factor tariff, especially in the sliding scale tariff, there must be a focus on power factor. Means more the power factor, consumer, if the consumer has maintained a more power factor than 0.8 lagging, then he or she get the discount in the charges of electrical energy. Then kilowatt and kVAR tariff. In this type, both active power and reactive power supplied are charged separately. Means active power having a different charges and reactive power having a different charges. A consumer having low power factor will draw more reactive power and hence shall have to pay more charges. And last is the three-part tariff. When the total charge to be made from consumers is split into three parts. Here three-part tariff is the advanced version of two-part tariff. Okay. So here what, when the total charge to be made from the consumer is split into three parts. First is fixed charge, second is semi-fixed charge, and third is running charge. It is known as three-part tariff. So total charge is equal to A plus B into kW plus C into kilowatt hour. So what are the A? A is nothing but the constant. That is a fixed charge. A is nothing but a fixed charge made during each billing period. It includes interest and depreciation on the cost of secondary distribution and labor cost of collecting revenues. So this is a fixed charges. It is independent on the number of unit consumed. B, charge per kilowatt of maximum demand. Charge per kilowatt of maximum demand. So and C, charge per unit. Unit means kilowatt hour of energy consumed. So it may be seen that by adding fixed charge or a consumer charge, that is A, to two-part tariff. In the two-part tariff, we have B into kW plus C into kilowatt hour. So by adding A, only fixed charge, in the two-part tariff, it becomes a three-part tariff. The principal objection of this type of tariff is that the charges are split into three components. This type of tariff is generally applied to big consumer. So in this lecture, we discuss about the tariff, then the characteristics of tariff, then different types of tariff and types of power factor tariff. In the next lecture, we will going to discuss about the numerical based on load curve, tariff and depreciation. Thank you.